In the water department, we do an array of things: mist digs, service calls to houses for meter repairs, help with water main projects, anything water and sewer related.
Usually it's pretty busy. We take a lot of calls on a daily basis on things like requests for service, people that need to have their water shut off or turned on for different reasons.
On a normal day, we come in the morning, we check the phones, make sure there was no calls from overnight. Mist digs are a big part of this job. Any kind of digging that happens in the city comes through the water department, and we go out and mark all of our lines so that they don't get hit, hopefully. So we mark sewer lines and water service lines and storm lines. We go out for service repairs. People will call for meter repair. When we say water services, we're talking about, of course, the most literal part, the actual water service line, which is a copper line that goes from our water main into the house, so it feeds the entire house. Most common issues with that will be a valve on our side that has to be repaired. So a resident would call for that kind of service, or like we said earlier, the meter service.
Well, I think we do a pretty good job with making sure that we deliver the highest quality water possible to our residents, and make sure that all of those parameters meet state and federal guidelines, and make sure that people have safe, clean, and reliable drinking water. The hardest challenge would be dealing with the amount of work that we have with a limited number of staff. We haven't really gained employees over the years. We've just kind of replaced the ones that have left. So even though at the same time the things that we have to do have increased, so trying to balance our priorities and make sure that we are efficient with our operations. My favorite part of the job would be just helping out the residents in the city and keeping up with the new requirements that we have nowadays with replacing lead service lines and trying to improve the overall infrastructure in the city.
My favorite part of my job is actually working for the city that raised me. I was born and raised here, and now I reside here, and I think it's an awesome opportunity to serve the community that basically I grew up in. My job benefits the people of Madison Heights for a couple reasons. I think the mist digs, for sure, we don't want anybody to hit a water line. If a company comes out and they're digging and they hit a water line, a whole residential street could potentially be out of water service for multiple hours or days, as we saw recently. Also, with any kind of service call that we might have, people have pipes that bust in their house or valves that stop working and they need repaired immediately, or there's potential threat to the household or the property. If a resident was to ever need water services, don't hesitate to call the city. We're here to help, and we want to help. Any kind of water question is certainly I can answer to the best of my ability, and if not, there are other people we can get you to get your questions answered about water. Water meter replacement or repair, the most likely cause is a frozen meter. It'll happen over the winter. The water will freeze inside the meter, and it will cause the bottom of the meter to crack. So we'll get a call from the resident. We come and check out the meter. It's fairly simple process. We go in. It's 2 bolts. We unscrew them, put a new meter in. We got to get the read off of the old meter, get the read on the new meter, and make sure everything gets over to finance and match all the numbers. The most common issue that a resident would need water services for is the valves. That's probably the thing I see the most. The valve on the incoming city side will potentially go bad depending on how old the pipe is, and our most common call is for replacing the valve, and they need that side off because they need water off at the street, because that's the side that's what we call the city side, and and they can't do anything if we don't shut it off at the street. So it's very important.